Happy New Year. It's 2021. We made it. And boy, what did we make it through? 2020 was an unprecedented year. If you're wondering what's ahead of us in the real estate market, we have to first look at what does 2020 look like? How did we end 2020? And what does that mean for 2021? I'm going to share with you some information that I think you'll find really interesting. The National Association of Realtors worked with U.S. Postal Service data, the change of address forms, to track how many people in our country relocated in 2020. This number right here, 8.93 million. What's interesting is that number is 94,000 more than relocated in 2019. People are moving. They're moving away from the cities. They're going to the suburbs. Now, what's interesting is the states with the highest in-migration were New Jersey, South Carolina, and Maryland. So people are moving out of the cities into these states on the eastern seaboard. Contrast that with the District of Columbia, New York, and surprisingly Texas saw lower in-migration. Now, it's important to note that this data isn't fully complete with Texas data. Texas is a really interesting thing to watch. So I was surprised to see that they had a negative, or that they hadn't seen as much of a positive migration. Even during a pandemic, what else is at play? What's going on with this migration? Here's a couple of numbers I want you to think about. Prior to the pandemic, so in 2019, we had one adult in 20. 1 out of 20 worked remotely, worked from home. During the pandemic, in 2020, we saw a major shift. 1 in 3. What does that tell you? People are more mobile, they have more flexibility. With more time spent at home, people are thinking through things that they want, different features they want in their home. One of the biggest things that I've seen is a home office. Either wanting a home office or a bigger home office or a different setup with their home office. Maybe that's you. Maybe you find yourself in that situation. With more time spent at home, larger yards are wanted, are desired for the kids to play in. Outdoor living spaces. The flexibility gives people more options. They can move out of the city into the suburbs. We are seeing that here in the state of Utah as well. So what does that migration look like in the state of Utah? Well, 500,000 of our neighbors, 500,000 Utahns moved last year. 500,000. 386,000 of those moved within the state of Utah. They changed addresses. Maybe you're one of those. Maybe you moved, maybe you bought a new home and moved. 96,000 people moved into our state. So we are growing, we're moving, we're very mobile. So we are following the trend that we see across the country. Interestingly, last year, February, March, I think the whole wide world held their breath and we weren't sure what was going to happen in the world, let alone the real estate market. But as it turns out, 2020 reflected the highest number of sales, real estate market sales in the history of Utah, in our data history. So it was an incredible year. Guess which Utah city ranked in the top 10 markets during and in a post-COVID environment? It's the Provo-Orem area. So you'll see Utah County is growing like gangbusters, and the NAR data reflects that as well. Utah's economy is very strong. Since 2010, Utah's job market has grown every year. What we see here with the growth in Salt Lake County, for every 4 new jobs created, there's a new home. In Utah County, there's 1 home permit, let me be specific, 1 home permit pulled for every 2 new jobs. So you can see Utah County specifically, all along the Wasatch Front, but Utah County specifically, we are growing and our housing inventory is very low. As of yesterday, just as of January 5th, in Utah County, we had, I think it was about 183 residential units on the MLS. That gives you an idea. Inventories are very, very tight and the demand is high and interest rates are still historically low. Now, 2021, what can you expect? In Utah, things are going very, very strong. There's no reason to believe that we would have anything but another strong year in the real estate market in Utah. Demand is high, inventories are low, interest rates are low, people are mobile, people are working. Now, all of this to be said, this is very consistent with the rental market as well in Utah. We're seeing across the country renters that are leaving cities and being pushed out towards the suburbs, no different than homeowners. So the rental market is still, we are expected to still see high raising rent rates, and the suburbs might see more renters, more interest in renting. So those are a couple of things to watch for. That's 2020. Let's hope for a great year, and next year we can recap and see how we did.